Hello everybody, how are you? Hello everybody, how are you? It is time to start our day. It is time to work and play. Hello everybody, how are you? Hi guys, welcome to Friday. Today we are going to talk about a fun topic. We're going to talk about presents. Who likes to get presents for their birthday and for Christmas? I know I do. I get excited about presents. Who likes to give presents to other people? I like to do that too. That is a lot of fun to see the excitement in other people's faces when you give them a gift. Well, we are going to talk about presents that you can give in a box and presents that you can give without buying anything, without wrapping anything. Let's start with that. We're going to start with a book and learn a little bit about presents that we can give without having to spend any money, make anything, wrap anything, or buy anything. The book we're going to start with is called A Little Spot of Giving. We've seen Spot before, if you remember. He's been around a few times with us. Let's see what he wants to teach us about giving. Hi, I'm a little spot of giving. I'm here to show you how to give the most amazing gifts. They say, we love gifts. We love to get presents. Oh, look at all of those. I wonder what's inside all of those boxes. These aren't just ordinary gifts. These gifts have the power to spread kindness. Kindness. Where have we heard that word earlier this week? Do you remember what letter kindness starts with? It starts with the letter K, which is our letter of the week. Here are some of my favorite gifts that I can give without wrapping, buying, or anything to show kindness. Giving a gift of helping. If your neighbor has a hard time doing something, offer to do it for them. Do you see what the little boy is doing? His neighbor can't rake her leaves anymore, so he is helping her, and she is so happy. She's smiling. He gave her a gift of being helpful. Giving a gift of teaching. Help someone learn something new. Just one more loop and you've got it. He's teaching her how to tie her shoes. Giving a gift of friendship. Say hi to someone you've not played with before. Thank you for asking me to play with you today. You can give the gift of advice. What does that mean? That means that you can offer help and guidance to someone who needs it. The little boy's telling the little girl, he said, I think your painting might need a background. And she's like, oh, cool, you're right. You can give the gift of listening. Pay attention when someone is talking. That's a very nice gift to give somebody. Give a gift of compassion. If a friend is sick, make them a nice card and show them that you care. Compassion is caring. Give a gift of love. I know you all know what that is. Make something from the heart and give it to somebody special. I made this just for you because I love you. Give a gift of time. Spend quality time with someone you care about and focus on them. Look, they're playing a game together and they're hugging each other. Oh, here's a word that you might not know. Give a gift of empathy. What does that mean? Let's see what they say. When someone is sad, be a shoulder for them to cry on and an ear to listen. She's sad because she lost her cat. So her friend is just being there for her. That's having empathy, just sitting with her, listening to what she has to say, maybe giving her a hug. So they put up a sign that says lost cat. She said, I'm sure your cat is right around here. These signs will help. Give the gift of hope. Offer positive words of encouragement when someone is feeling down. Oh, giving the gift of teamwork. Working together can help you accomplish more tasks easier. Giving a gift of nature. Plant a new tree. That's a fun idea. Or plant a garden. Giving a gift to the earth. Throw away your trash and help keep the planet clean. You could recycle as well, or compost even. Giving a gift of appreciation. Say thank you to someone who helped you today. Look, they're offering him a bottle of water because he's out working. Maybe it's hot outside, so they're helping him and appreciating him by giving him a drink. Giving a gift of volunteering. That means helping somebody else that might need extra help. Find a charity or a food drive to help others in need. Giving a gift of generosity. Be thankful for all that you have and look for ways to go above and beyond to share. Giving a gift of sharing. If you have more than you need, offer to give some away to brighten someone's day. Let's see what's happening here. The little girl is sitting there and it looks like maybe her ice cream fell. And how does she feel? Look at her face. She's feeling really sad about that, isn't she? So this little girl comes along and says, I was able to split my ice pop. Would you like half? Look, She took what she was going to eat and she's sharing with the other girl. Giving a gift of joy. If you have outgrown your toys, give them to children that don't have any. Now that you have seen what the power of giving is and can do, what gift are you going to give today? What a great question to start with. Like I said, gifts don't have to be something you go to the store and buy. They don't have to be something you make. They can be something that you do. So I have a challenge for you. I want you to draw a picture in your journal and tell a grown-up or an older brother or sister what you drew, and they can write it down. And here's what I want you to draw about today. This is my drawing that I made. It says, I can give the gifts of helping and friendship. So here's the picture I drew. Let me tell you about my gifts. Today, after we're done together, I'm going to go over to my dad's house and to my aunt's house. They each live alone and they can get very lonely. And there's a lot of things that they can't do by themselves anymore. Just like the woman in the book that can't rake her leaves, some things my dad and my aunt can't do on their own. So I'm going to give them the gift of helping. I'm going to go over to their houses today and I'm going to help them with a few things around their house. Then I'm going to give them the gift of friendship and actually companionship. I can add to this. Because then they're going to come over, and this is my kitchen table, and they're going to sit with me at my kitchen table, and we're going to have dinner together tonight. Maybe even play a few games. So those are some of the gifts that I can give today. And I don't have to spend any money. I don't have to wrap anything up. I don't have to do any shopping. I can give the gifts of helping, friendship, and companionship. So draw in your journal today, or on a piece of paper if you don't have a journal, and tell me, what gifts are you going to give today that aren't things you can buy, that are something that you can give to somebody from your heart. So that's the first part of what we are doing today. Okay, now I want to see how well you remember. Way back at Halloween time, we did a finger play with 5 little pumpkins. We're going to change it a little. Let me see how much you remember. Put your 5 angels up. We're changing it today. 5 little angels, and put your gate up. 5 little angels sitting on the gate. The first one said, "Oh my, it's getting late." The second one said, "There are stars in the air." Third one said, "I don't care." Fourth one said, "Let's fly and fly and fly." The fifth one said, "Way up into the sky." Ooh, went the wind and out went the lights. The 5 little angels flew out of sight. So if you remember our pumpkin finger play, there were a couple things that were different in this one. Instead of leaves flying through the air like there were with pumpkins, we had stars in the air. And instead of the pumpkins rolling away, what did the angels do? They flew. However, that third little pumpkin, still that sassy little pumpkin, he puts his hands on his hips and he says, "I don't care." And the angel does the same thing, "I don't care," with her hands on her hips. Sometimes things don't change very much, do they? Okay. So we have been talking about a couple of things this week. Let's see, we talked about angels. The angel Gabriel, who came and told Mary she was going to get to be Jesus' mommy. Then we talked about how when Jesus was born, and that was so cool. Now today we talked a little bit about gifts. We're going to put those two things together, the story of Jesus being born and the story of gifts, and see how they go together. First of all, Jesus is a gift. He is our greatest gift from God, that God came down on earth and gave us his son Jesus to save us. So thank you, God, for that awesome gift. Now let's read a little bit more in our Jesus Storybook Bible to hear about some gifts that some people brought to Jesus. We are going to tell a little bit more of our story today. The light of the whole world. That same night when Jesus was born, in amongst the other stars, suddenly a bright new star appeared. Of all the stars in the dark vaulted heavens, this one shone clearer. It blazed in the night, and it made the other stars look pale beside it. God put it there when his baby son was born, to be like a spotlight shining on him, lighting up the darkness, showing people the way to him. You see, God was like a new daddy. He couldn't keep the good news to himself. He'd been waiting all these long years for this moment, and now he wanted to tell everyone. So if you can see, there's some shepherds down here. Shepherds are people that watch sheep, and they were the first ones to see the star and hear the angels talk about Jesus being born, and they went to visit him. But then later on, there were some other visitors, and those are the ones we're going to learn about today. Far away in the east, 3 clever men saw the very same star, the star that God had put in the sky when Jesus was born. They knew it was a sign. A baby king had been born. They had been waiting for the star. They knew it would come. "He's here," they shouted. "He's here." And I'm sure if you'd been there, you would have heard them laughing and dancing and singing until the sun came up. I guess they were pretty excited about this. At dawn, they packed up their camels and they wrapped gifts for the baby. They brought their most precious treasures of all, frankincense, gold, and myrrh. Special, sparkly, lovely smelling, gleaming things just right for a king. The three wise men, actually, if you'd met them, you'd have thought they were three kings because they were so rich and clever and important looking. They set off. They rode their camels across endless deserts, up steep, steep mountains, down into deep, deep valleys, through raging rivers, over grassy plains, night and day and night, for hours that turned into days, days that turned into weeks, and weeks that turned into months, and months until at last they reached, where do you think they got to? Jerusalem. Jerusalem was by far the most important city for miles around, and as anyone can tell you, that's where a palace would be, and kings are born in palaces. So they know they're looking for a king because Jesus is our king. So where did they go? They went to a palace. But you and I know, we learned earlier, Jesus wasn't born in the palace, was he? Let's see how they find out. But they were in for a surprise. They went to see King Herod. Surely he would know where the baby was, but he didn't. In fact, he didn't like the sound of a new king. It made him cross. That means he was angry and he was jealous because he wanted to be the only king around. He didn't want anybody to be the king except for him. But Herod's advisors told the three wise men what was written in their books, what God had said about the baby king. Go to Bethlehem. Remember that place? Go to Bethlehem. That's where you'll find him. Suddenly the star they had seen in the east started moving again, showing them the way. So the three wise men followed the star out of the big city, along the road, into the little town of Bethlehem. They followed the star through the streets of Bethlehem, out of the nice part of town, through the not so nice part of town, into the really not so nice part of town, down a little dirt track until it stopped right over a little house. But wait, it wasn't a palace. And there weren't any guards or servants or flags or red carpets or trumpets or anything. Did they get this wrong? Or was this what God meant? Sure enough, in that little house there sitting on his mother's knee, they found him, the baby king. The three men knelt before the little king. They took off their rich royal turbans and gleaming golden crowns. They bowed their noble heads to the ground, and they gave him their sparkling treasures. The journey that had begun so many centuries before had led three wise men here, to a little town, to a little house, to a little child, to the king God had promised David all those years before. But this child was a new kind of king. Though he was the Prince of Heaven, he had become poor. Though he was the mighty God, he had become helpless. This king hadn't come to be the boss. He had come to be a servant. We'll learn more about Jesus later on. So now we know a little bit more to the story. Like we said, first we heard about the angel Gabriel coming. Then we heard about baby Jesus being born. Now after he was born, special visitors came. First the shepherds came to see him. Then these three wise men came, and they did bring him gifts. They brought packages of the best things that they could find. And there's nothing wrong with buying presents for somebody and giving them to them. Sometimes it's good to give things that you can do. Sometimes it's fun and good to give things that you can buy. So today I have some fun things for you to do at home when we're finished together. The first one is on Facebook. Your grown-up can print this off for you. If you look at it, tell me what shape you see. I see a cross. What letter do you see? It makes the letter T, doesn't it? Well, there's something special about this cross or this letter T. You can cut it out and you can fold it, and when you do, you get a surprise. Now let me tell you, when you're cutting, if you look closely, you can see that some of the lines aren't solid lines. There's space between them. Right here, 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 and here. All the inside lines, it looks like. They're called dotted lines. Don't cut those. Okay, guys? Don't cut the dotted lines. Only cut these outside solid lines. And when you do, you'll have the cross, you'll have the letter T, and what you can do is fold it on those dotted lines, and you can make a box. You can make your own box that you can put a treasure in to give somebody. Now, when we give people gifts, we don't just like to buy them something and get excited about that. We like to make them pretty. So either before you fold it or after, you can color it if you want to. Or another idea, if your grown-ups have started wrapping presents for people, you know, there's always a little bit of wrapping paper left over. Ask them if you can have it. I have some left over here from a gift I was wrapping earlier, and I can cut this into smaller pieces, and I could wrap my box if I wanted to. So I would need my box, I would need wrapping paper, I would need some tape, and what else would I need? I would need some scissors to cut the paper so it's the right size. That's kind of a fun thing to do. If your grown-ups do have extra wrapping paper, ask them if you can have it and set it up somewhere, and you can practice wrapping gifts and cutting them and wrapping up all kinds of things. And if you have any extra bows, you can always put that on top as well. So that's one thing I have for you to do. Well, your journal, you can make your box. Then I have one other thing I'm going to put on Facebook for your grown-up to print off for you. This is called a sequencing activity. That's a big word, isn't it? Sequencing. What that means is you're going to put these pictures in order. So when you print this off, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to color the pictures with the little girl at the bottom. Then more cutting. Time to get your scissors out again. You're going to cut these little pictures out. Now, if you notice at the top of the page, we've got some numbers. Can you say them with me? 1, 2, 3, 4. Your job on this paper is to take the pictures that you have colored and that you cut out and put them in order. That's what sequencing means. You're going to put them in order. What happens first? So let's take a quick peek. In this picture, the little girl is putting the bow on the wrapped gift. In this picture, she's making the gift. In this picture, she's giving the gift. And in this picture, she's putting the gift inside the box that isn't wrapped yet. So think about it. What would she do first? Would she give the gift first? Would she put the bow on it, make it, or put it in the box? You color, you cut, and then you decide which one goes first, and you're going to put it on number 1. Which thing would she do second? Put it on number 2, number 3, and number 4. So you can do that today. Both of these things, like I said, will be on Facebook for your grown-up to print off, and you can do them. And then the journal, if you made a journal with me earlier, you can use your journal, or you can write it on any piece of paper. How are you going to give a gift today? What kind of gift are you going to give that you can do for somebody else? Those are things to think about and go do. Have a great weekend. Be kind for K Week, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.